This is Kerry Barrett, co-owner of PK Ventures. PK Ventures is a franchisee of the corporation Big Boy. Can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Our business is, like you said, a franchised restaurant under the Big Boy chain. It's a full-service, family-style restaurant with table service as well as carry-out. And we're open 16 hours a day, and anything on our menu is available throughout the day. You can get breakfast at night or dinner at 6 a.m. if you'd like.
Okay. All right. Where's the general location of this restaurant?
We are located in East Central Illinois in the town of Danville, off of Interstate 74, right on the border of Illinois with Indiana.
Okay. What would you say your target market is for this area?
Our target market was initially the industrial park in which we're located, plus the 7 hotels that surround us, the traffic off the interstate, which is, when we opened, it was approximately 20,000 vehicles per day, and then the roughly 50,000 residents living in the communities in East Central and West Central Indiana and Illinois.
Okay.
Operations management is the management of systems or processes that create goods and or provide services.
What is your definition of operations management?
To me, operations management is basically trying to manage everything from your product coming in the back door, your processing of it, which in our case is cooking, to delivery to the customer.
Can you give a few examples of operations management problems you encounter?
Problems we encounter in management are typically, because we're located so far away from our franchisor who delivers our food to us, shortages on shipments.
Okay.
Sanitation is a big control issue in our business because you can kill your customer if you aren't careful in this business. Cross-contamination is an issue that you want to be careful with so that you don't transmit bacteria from. We deal with raw poultry and seafood products, and you don't want the bacteria on those items to get to a ready-made cream pie ready to eat.
Okay, how do you solve these issues usually?
Basically through management oversight of your personnel. You want to constantly be moving about the restaurant, making sure that people are doing the jobs they're supposed to do. You have procedures in place that you go through during the hiring process to make sure that your personnel are familiar with their responsibilities as far as keeping sanitized and taking care of the customers.
Okay. The scopes of operations management are the following: forecasting, capacity planning, facilities and layout, scheduling, managing inventories, assuring quality, motivating and training employees, and locating facilities. How do you forecast your demand?
Originally, our demand was forecast by our franchisor. They commissioned a demographic study to determine what our sales level would be to make sure it was going to be a worthwhile venture for us to get into it. They looked at incomes and population in the surrounding area and then told us what they would expect our sales to be, and we did our projections based on it and made the decision to go forward with the restaurant.
Okay. So for as far as like yearly sales and day-to-day sales, how do you figure that out? Do you just...
We keep a record on a daily basis of sales by hour, and then we summarize it by day part, day shift, which is open to 3 p.m. versus night shift, 3 to close. When we're trying to do scheduling, we'll go back and look at those sales from the previous year, as well as any events that may be going on in the area that might impact us from a larger amount of people in town.
Okay. Quality control is a process that evaluates output relative to a standard and takes corrective action where output doesn't meet standards. Well, can you explain a few of your restaurant's quality control procedures?
Quality control, at the back door, you want to inspect all your product coming in.
Okay.
Look at your produce especially. We're fortunate that we get a lot of our product from our franchisor. So it's consistent product. Some of the stuff we buy locally, you want to make sure that your standards of quality are up to what you expect, and basically just monitoring every aspect of the operation.
Supply chain management is the strategic coordination of the supply chain for the purpose of integrating supply and demand. What would be your definition of supply chain management?
My definition of supply chain management would be not only knowing where our food comes from, but where our supplier gets their food from.
Okay.
Whether it's, maybe the produce, you don't want it grown in a country where they aren't using proper hydration
Yeah.
procedures,
Yeah, kind
so
of-
that there may be some contamination
Yeah.
in the produce when it comes in.
Okay. How many trucks or shipments do you usually receive a week?
We get one major shipment from our franchiser every week. We'll normally get one shipment from a local vendor that we get a few items that are in addition to what we get from the franchiser, and then perhaps 2 to 3 produce shipments a week, as well as some stuff we buy locally at the market.
Okay. So when you say that you get this shipment from your franchiser, how far does it travel? Do you know the food in
Our food comes from Detroit, Michigan.
Detroit?
The
Okay.
commissary is located there.
All right. So
And
not real far, but I mean a good distance.
No, but they have refrigerated
Yeah.
freezer trucks that keep
Keep
it
it-
at temperature that it's supposed to be when it's coming down.
Okay. How do you manage and maintain your supplier relationships? Keep them positive and friendly.
Basically, we pay on time. They have a tendency to not want to ship to you if you're not going to pay your bills. And we aren't the type of consumer from our vendors that complains a lot about the product. So basically, keep in contact with them. We don't manage that supply chain very well. We know our franchiser does from
Yeah.
the stuff we get from them, but mainly it'll be incidental items like French fries and canned goods
Okay.
that we'll get from the local supplier. And then you inspect your produce when it comes in and
Yeah.
notify them if there's a problem,
Yeah.
because they would want to know also.
Vendor analysis is evaluating the sources of supply in terms of price, quality, reputation, and service. Exactly. All right. When you're looking for your vendors and doing a vendor analysis, what characteristics do you look for in suppliers?
We look for ability to deliver when we need it, availability for us to call an order or get a delivery. Your weekends are typically your busiest days of the week, and we prefer not to do business with somebody who's closed on the weekends.
Yeah.
Because we run out of something or are short supplied on one of the other suppliers and need to get something in a hurry, it's helpful to have a vendor who's there when you're going to need them.
Okay. All right.